Finding life a bit complex? Confusing? Aware that your old strategies aren't working? Why not ask Pam and Marilyn? This is the Irreverent Therapists, and we're here to add some clarity, humor, and a bit of what might be considered blasphemy to your day.
And welcome everybody to the Irreverent Therapists. This is Pam Hoteling, and with me, I hope, is my partner in crime, Marilyn Bradford. Marilyn,
I made it!
Yay! Awesome!
I walked into the door of the hotel about 6 minutes ago.
It's been very questionable all day if Marilyn would actually be able to join the show.
If anybody's been using airports or air carriers this last few days, you probably know what I'm talking about. I'm so tired of these clothes. I've been in for 36 hours.
Nice. And we're talking about bodies today.
Oh, I'm so glad Donnielle is here because I have lots to. She could be the Santa. No, I don't want her to be the Santa Claus of bodies, because if she asks me if I've been naughty or nice to my body, naughty is going to be right up there. So anyway, enough about that.
Well, let me go ahead and introduce Donnielle. So Donnielle Carter is our guest today. She is the amazing founder of Right Recovery for You.
No, that's me. Right Body for You.
Oh, right this, right that. Okay, Sarah is the founder of Right Recovery for You. Donnielle, Right Body for You, and is an access consciousness facilitator and all-around amazing being. So welcome, Donnielle.
Hello, ladies.
Hello.
Oh, I'm so excited to play with you guys. I love you too.
Well,
I'm excited too.
Let me tell everybody what our topic is. I think this is just so appropriate. What kind of holiday is your body having? Have you been spending time getting family and friends the perfect presents? Maybe you're decorating the house and forgetting to eat, or overindulging. Holidays are a time when we seem to tend to everyone and everything else but our bodies. What if the health and happiness of your body was as important to you as your dog, cat, finances, car, or even your family? So anyway, I know I've been coming up with all kinds of questions all day.
Well, and one question I have is for Marilyn. It's like, what if there were fun ways to be naughty to your body? I'm all about those.
Oh, you're going to have to say more about that. Basically, I've been in that, planes, flights canceled. Okay, where's the nearest restaurant? Yes, I'll have that glass of wine. Okay, where's the nearest restaurant? So I have not been being naughty in a good way. So maybe that's one thing we could definitely talk about.
No, I'm so excited to play with you guys. It's so fun. I always enjoy playing with you guys. We laugh, we have a good time, which for me, laughter is one of my favorite things to do with my body. So, let's do it. So thank you.
Well, and Donnielle, one of the reasons I love talking with you about bodies is there's something about the awareness you have of bodies and your ability to listen and hear things. I don't know, stuff comes out of your mouth that I'm like, I never even thought to ask my body that. Or, if you could say anything to people's bodies right now, what would it be?
Don't give up on your infinite being.
And by that, she means you, the one listening to this show, who's making all the decisions and running your body around all over the place and not listening to it.
Well, I think before we go any further, we really need to talk about how different Donnielle's approach to bodies is.
Yes.
Because it is nothing like, well, here's the latest diet, or you should exercise this way, that's the best, or you should impose this regime. So, Donnielle, can you talk a little bit about what makes you and Right Body for You so very, very different from any of the other approaches?
I would love to, and thank you for asking, and thank you, Pam, for saying that I surprise you with things coming out of my mouth, because honestly, I do too. Every once in a while, I hear myself, and I'm like, hey, that was cool. Somebody write that down.
Marilyn, stop unzipping your switching.
Oh, all right. I'm just trying to get settled here. I'll be good. See, I'm bad all the time.
That was so funny. I'm like, is somebody blowing a raspberry? No, it's Marilyn unpacking.
I could put myself on mute. All right. I'll just sit here. I was just trying to relax a little bit.
And blowing raspberries with your body can be a lot of fun. Who says it's just a childish thing? Now, the lips can enjoy the sensation and the tingle, as does the tongue. I'm just saying. So, it's
Donnielle.
Well, it's interesting how I do adore Right Body for You and the set of the tools. It works with Access Consciousness tools. And I just adore it so much for its difference. And I have a lot to compare it to. Because, as you were saying, Marilyn, about all of you do this exercise, you eat this way, you have to follow this regimen, this is what is required, this is what's bad, this is what's good. I have a lot to compare that to because my mom was a nutritionist, and she hosted her own health talk radio show for 27 years. It was a weekly broadcast show, and sometimes it was an hour show, sometimes it was a 3-hour show, and each hour had its own guest. And so I should count it up sometime. That's a lot of different experts that she had having all of the answers to what bodies are all about. And what was funny about this is during this whole thing, in the Irreverent Therapist would know this. And, in this reality, when you're raised in that kind of environment, you either love what she does or you hate what she does. And I supported what she did, but hated my body. So, I went somewhere in the middle.
You guys want both.
I'm cute that way. Because I used to run the radio show board for her, so I was there every Saturday for most of my life, answering phones and screening callers and actually putting people on air, turning on microphones, stuff like that. And I hated the fact that I had a body. I mean, literally, I tried to hide it. I tried to hide it by gaining weight. I tried to hide it by not adorning it in any way with clothes or jewelry or, letting people see me or anything, which was ironic since I was a promotion manager for a TV station in my pretend adult life, because promotions and marketing is about getting out there. And it was for a WB network, which was the age group was 12 to 34. So I'm like, yes, let's go be in front of a bunch of crowds and kids and do all this. And I'm like, no, actually, I'm not going to do that. You could do that, but I'm not doing that. I know it's my job, but I won't do it. And so once I started with the Access Consciousness classes and Right Body for You tools, it helped me become aware of the thing that, while all of my mother's experts, as I affectionately called them, because they had well-intentions, all of these people, homeopathists, naturopaths, doctors, you name it, herbalists, far out there people, you name it, I practically heard of it over the years. And while they were all really trying to help people and the world and their bodies and people's bodies, for me, there was always something missing. And once I started Access and Right Body for You, I realized the thing that was missing was the question in it, the question about bodies, and that talking to the body. Because every Saturday, my mom and I used to joke about that. Every Saturday, it would be like, oh, here's the next answer. Oh, last week's show, was still good, but this week, this is what will change everything. And so there was no question in there if, this would apply to you. It may apply to Pam, or it may apply to Marilyn or me, but maybe not you. And so with Right Body for You, it gave me and everybody else the questions and the communication to the body, which is the difference that I see. And what's neat is all those other modalities is not to make them bad, but it's like if you add question to it, it becomes even stronger also. And that's one of the things that I love about the difference about Right Body for You is the questions, talking to the body, and following your own awareness. Because who's with your body all the time? You, somebody else, the doctors, or just saying, I'm kind of with my body all the time. So
I I've never thought of it that way, but yes, I am with my body all the time.
Right? It's my constant companion. I know some people don't like their body having as a constant companion, but it's true. And what's funny is I actually found out about Access and Right Body for You because our dear friend Dr. Dayton here guest on my mom's show.
Awesome.
And he didn't have answers, he just had questions.
Exactly. And it was my first huh? And I actually think my body made me pay attention to it.
Yeah.
Because it was one of those moments where as the words are coming out of my mouth, I'm like, I can't believe I'm saying this. Because I was talking to the local practitioners and I'm like, I actually said, I can't take the class this Saturday, but can I give you my name? And you can, let me know when you're having your next class. And in my head is screaming, going, why am I saying that? I'm on their mailing list. I've spent the past 27 years staying off their mailing list. What am I doing? And my body's like, we're doing this. I'm like, okay. And then, that was 8 years ago or something. And now I have the joy. I used to hate bodies, and now I have the joy of traveling the world, helping people to hear their body, talk to their body, rebuild that communication, and enjoy their body and, change their body.
That is so cool, really. I mean, because I know that I spent years trying various diet things, and I was, quote, successful. I mean, I got down to 87 pounds. I'm nowhere near that now. But that was considered successful.
Yes.
And yes, I do this exercise, and I do this yoga, and I do this, and I do that. And one of the things I've learned from you, Donnielle, and this to me has just been the most crucial. Two things. One, we just talked about.
Hold that, Marilyn.
What?
We have to take our break.
Oh, I'm not paying attention at all.
That's okay. We'll be back in a few minutes.
All right. Then I'll tell my two things.
The Real Conscious Connection. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
What if living didn't have to be so serious?
What if you could move beyond your problems with greater confidence and ease than you've ever imagined?
Throw your labels out the window and join the Irreverent Therapists for practical tips and a very different way of approaching the changes you would like to create.
Marilyn Bradford
and Pam Hodling
have empowered hundreds of people to come out of self-judgment, quit looking to experts, and begin to create the lives they desire.
Join us Wednesdays at 7 p.m. Eastern on the Irreverent Therapist Show.
Host your show on IOM FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. Simone Milasas would like you to know that business can be fun, which is why she wrote the book, Joy of Business. What if you could have the joy of business rather than the stress and struggle? Most of the time, the only thing stopping you from a thriving business is you. In the Joy of Business book, Simone gives you access consciousness tools and pragmatic ways to get out of your own way and to create the business, life, and living you know is possible and beyond what this reality says is achievable. Business is joy. It's creation. It's generative. It can be the adventure of living. You can purchase your copy of the book through Amazon or Joy of Business website, www.accessjoyofbusiness.com.
The truth is, you can't change the world if you're broke. I know, I tried. Isn't it time you turned your life's calling into a profitable, freedom-based business? I'm Michelle Barr. Join me every Thursday at 2 p.m. Eastern for Sacred Success.
Free your mind. Expand your soul. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Irreverent Therapists and our special guest, Donnielle Carter. And Marilyn, you were like in the midst of about to say something brilliant, and I had to cut you off.
Well, it is, you know what? It's brilliant because it's a concept that we've all gotten from Access, and Donnielle has totally exponentialized. And that is to be with your body without judgment. And this was a supreme test for me. I've been gone. My mother's very elderly, very ill. I was at her retirement home. We had lots of difficulties, blah, 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 blah. And then, of course, the flight was canceled yesterday. You know, I was shuttled off. I mean, anyway, lots of excuses to not be nice to my body. And one of the things that I did really well on was actually not judging what I was doing. I would talk to my body like, I'm really sorry, but I am going to have that cheeseburger and fries. I think it's going to help. But Donnielle, I mean, you have so helped so many people with this whole concept of not judging your body. I was hoping you'd expand on that a little bit.
Oh, absolutely. You know, and that's one of the tools, you know, I'm asked all the time. It's like, if I could give one tool that would change people's bodies, is that the no judgment, and to actually have gratitude for it. Because people are like, well, how do I not judge my body? Because that's what we've been taught in this reality. Find what's wrong, fix it. You know, and if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So we can only fix things that are broken. So to allow changes in our body and our life, we often subconsciously break things to fix it. So it's like, oh my gosh, really? And so we've been taught to perpetually look for the wrongness, to perpetually look for what's broken. And I'm sure you guys have discussed, what do you find when you go looking for what's wrong?
All the things
what's
wrong.
Exactly. So people are like, well, how do I not judge? It's like, yeah, nice concept. Hello. What world do you live in? How do you not judge?
Well, and I don't judge. Who am I?
Yeah, exactly. Well, you know, and we use judgment to know who we are. We know judgment to know how to create our lives, what to do, what not to do, who not to do. You know, we use judgment. And so the key to that really is the gratitude, because gratitude and judgment cannot coexist. With that, in gratitude doesn't mean you love them. Doesn't mean that you don't get driven crazy by them or your body every once in a while, or you get frustrated. It doesn't mean everything's happy-go-lucky, you know, skip off to music underneath a rainbow. It just
doesn't.
Sorry, I won't even talk about Santa. No, but what it is you're grateful for the contribution, you know, that it is to your life. The good, the bad, the ugly, everything. And that's where the no judgment comes in. Because if you're truly grateful for something, you're grateful for it as it is, whether it's your body or your life or your own insanities. You know, let's throw that in on the Irreverent Therapist show.
Donnielle?
Yeah.
Can I ask you, because given that it's the holidays and, you know, people tend to not treat their bodies that well during the holidays, could you, like, jump into some examples of what you're talking about, maybe using what people might be doing right now?
Absolutely. I thought you were going to ask, like, could be grateful for our insane family during the holidays. That
might be pushing it a little bit. Although if you listen to our last two shows, everybody, you'll get some insight on how to deal with the family stuff.
Oh, yes. Yeah, you know, and I did a show too, you know, because I have the Right Body for You radio show. I did a show on the shopping list or holiday list, your body's wish list for the holidays, right?
Oh, I like it.
Yeah. And one of them was, and really one of the most important was taking time for your body. Because, you know, like in the description of the show, it was like, well, you know, we run here, we do that, we shop for this person, and we just eat on the fly or do whatever. And we tend to make us second to last, and then our bodies last on that list. And we exhaust ourselves, you know, and, you know, and this whole thing, if we do take time for ourselves and our bodies during the holidays, we tend to be labeled as selfish or, you know, like, oh, you have time to have a massage? Well, la-ti-da. And, you know, I'm like, yes, thank you very much. Have a good day. But, you know, and I have a different point of view about selfish. I actually think one of the most selfish things is to not take care of yourself. Because if you don't take care of yourself and your body in this whole thing, then you actually have less of you to share with the world. And I think that's one of the biggest travesties out there, is for you to limit yourself in sharing and the gift you can be to the world. And so taking care of your body during the holidays, taking that time, you know, like doing the massage or doing a pedicure, not just to get ready for the party, folks, but to, you know, actually just be able to function, actually gives you the ability to be present. It gives you the ability to, quote unquote, deal with the things because you're not tapped. Because your body is a great source of awareness and a great source of strength. And I'm not just talking about like physical strength, like, oh, I can lift those presents, but, you know, actually just being able to navigate daily life, and especially during the holidays when things are so ramped up. And with, you know, I mentioned that your body is one of the greatest tools of awareness you have. It's given you awareness for people's thoughts, feelings, and emotions around the world. And it ramps up during the holidays, as you all know. People around the world are going, I'm happy, I'm sad. I should be joyous. I can't really acknowledge that I'm kind of sad. And, you know, and I'm sure you guys have talked about the tool, who does this belong to?
Yeah.
And, you know, it's one of my favorite tools, especially with the body, because it also amplifies for the body. So if you're not taking during the holidays, so if you're not taking that time for your body, it's also weakening one of your greatest sources of strength. And so for me, you know, like I did get the massage during the holidays right before leading up to it.
I wish I'd thought of that. That is brilliant.
You know, I did too. I mean, it was one of those, it's like, Mom, I'm not going to be around tomorrow morning.
Yeah. And, you know, and I scheduled it ahead.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, I'm going to do this. And my massage lady, she's like, oh, will you have time? And I'm like, yes. Well, and because I also know that if I don't do it, I would have less time. Yeah. I know it sounds counterproductive, but energetically it's not. You know, you take an hour for you and your body, and you actually have more capacity out to the world. Yeah. And so just the first one is taking time for your body during the holidays, because that reinforces you, the infinite being. Also,
let me jump in here. This is like, I'm having little light bulbs go off. So you mean like back at the beginning of December when I made my little spreadsheet of who all do I need to get presents for? You know?
And put the body on the top of the list.
Yeah. Like, it never occurred to me, what presents could I give my body this month? And if I had included my body that way and asked it, what would be what gifts can I give you? That would have really created a different holiday for me.
Uh-huh.
That's an awesome idea, Pam.
Yeah.
We should, that is really something.
And that's exactly what I'm talking about. And what's funny is like, so I actually asked my body, I'm like, okay, body, what would you like for the holiday? What would you like for Christmas? You know, because we buy pets presents.
Right.
But we don't buy our body presents because, well, you know, you can't buy anything for yourself during the holidays. I'm buying it for my body. Thank you. You know, I'm a good spit doctor. Just ask me. And so, yeah, I asked my body. I actually did. I'm like, okay, body, what would you like for Christmas?
Wait a minute. Back up, Donnielle, because this is going to be odd for people. What do you mean you asked your body? Can you say more about that?
Absolutely. All right. So, let me ask you guys a couple questions. So, do animals have a consciousness and like a presence?
Yes.
Absolutely.
those of us who are cat owners know they have attitude, and I love it.
Very definite personalities.
But animals have a consciousness. Do plants and the earth have a consciousness?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. So, and if you look at the base of what bodies are made out of, scientifically, chemically, energetically, how vibrationally and chemically similar are they to the earth? Things like that. And so it's like, why wouldn't our bodies have a consciousness of its own then also?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so this is what I was talking about or hinting at earlier about, all of my mother's amazing experts had all this like, well, this is what it should be, but it never asked the body what it would like. And, being in the question with your body is one of those. It's like, okay, body, what would you like to eat? Body, what would you like to wear? Body, who would you like to have sex with? Body, what present would you like during the holidays? Stuff like that. Or I even, those of us who do a lot of traveling, body, where would you like to sit on the plane? Because who sits on the plane? You're your body.
Your body, yep.
All right. I mean, I even asked, like, when I'm buying, you can pre-purchase movie theater tickets now. I'm like, okay, body, where would you like to sit? Because my body's sitting in the theater, right? And so when you start to build, because your body is always communicating with you. And the last-ditch attempt for a body to communicate to you is that pain. So one of the targets of Right Body for You is to get you into that awareness and acknowledgement of that communication so that your body doesn't have to ramp it up to the proverbial 2x4 across the head that we like to call as pain to get your attention. Because when your body's in pain, what do? You stop, you pay attention, and you're like, what the hell's going on? Right? Well, what if you could ask questions before that?
And just to let you know, on that note, we're going to have to go to a break. So hold that thought. We'll be back with our special guest, Donnielle Carter, where we're talking about what kind of holiday is your body having?
Conscious media for conscious minds. OMTimes.
Hey ladies, do you want to have that good hair day feeling all the time? Gentlemen, would you want your special someone to have that glow, letting you know she's feeling completely satisfied? This feeling and that glow can be yours by embracing your sexual power. So join me, Rachel Kenley, award-winning romance author, on the O-Spot. The O-Spot will guide you to that peak with guest interviews, book discussions, and conversations on the thrills of sexual empowerment. Put the zing back in your life. Come up and see me sometime on the O-Spot, live on Hump Day at 10 p.m. Eastern.
Host your show on IOM-FM, the radio network of OMTimes Media, one of the more recognized brand names in the conscious community, and is backed by the extensive marketing reach of OMTimes. Hosting a show on IOM-FM immediately connects you with our extensive dedicated community. Are you trying to get from point A to point B and need a little advice? Connect with the counselors at OMTimes Advisors. Whether you're looking for a life coach or a spiritual intuitive, the advisors participating at advisors.omtimes.com were carefully chosen based on their gifts, skills, and professionalism. OMTimes Advisors, connecting you with the best advisors in the business.
If you've ever said, I do want it all. I do want happiness. I do want love. And I do desire the happily ever after fairy tale life, then this show is for you. Join me, Dana Nicole Brandon, for my internationally acclaimed show, Bridal Talk Radio, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. Pacific Time, where I'll bring you the top experts in the fields of communication, money, relationships, finance, pleasure, play, travel, sexuality, parenting, real estate, adventure, comfort, care, passion, and love.
The future of Internet radio is here. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Irreverent Therapists. It's Marilyn and Pam, and we are talking with our special guest, Donnielle Carter. And Donnielle, right before the break, you were talking about, what is it to actually communicate with your body and ask your body questions? So I just want to check in. Was there anything more that you were interrupted when you were trying to say when we went to break?
Good question. That was like 30 seconds ago. I don't remember.
Well, if not, then I'll ask you a question. So either way, we're covered.
Let's go with the question and see what comes up. But basically, it's just you need to ask your body for anything that pertains to it. And even during the holiday season, you guys, have you ever been forced to hug somebody and your body's like, I don't want to hug this
That's
person.
that person.
Yeah, right? Or
They have cooties.
I don't want to sit next to them during the holidays and stuff. It's like, you know what? It may be an awareness from your body because your body gives you awareness not just about what's going on for it, but also what's going on around the world, including other people's worlds. And so it's like, it might not just be that Aunt Kathy gives you the heebie-jeebies. It may just be your body doesn't want to sit next to her body, so ask questions.
Well, this is the perfect segue to my question. Thank you so much.
No problem.
Because the thing I was thinking about earlier today, it's like those where you have an awareness that your body's giving you and then go to conclusion about it. And then I'll give you an example. So I would say that recently, my body has been saying it's time for something different. And one of those things is I think my body would like to move around more, do something fun movement-wise. And, I could easily go to, okay, that means I need to walk every day and I'm going to do this exercise regimen, right? Which is not... which is a conclusion, not a question. And
doesn't her energy just feel fun when she's talking about it?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. It's like, bleh. Or the other one is I'll be aware. It's like my body would like to eat differently, and maybe for a day I'm asking questions, and then I'm like, okay, now this is how I'm going to eat.
Right. And
this is the right way. I've just determined.
And, this is actually, I remember now what I was talking about before we went to the break. So great, following the awareness or following the energy and having our bodies actually communicate for us because we're not always bright at it. It is about that constant question and communication with the body. And, and I'm all about not throwing the baby out with the bathwater because it's like, I am all about shifting the energy with the body, getting rid of the points of view and conclusions and judgments and how much that can actually shift and change the body. So I remember one time I did a cleanse. I spent 27 years learning all these different amazing things. And so my body let me know it wanted to do this cleanse. And what was interesting is when some people found out, they're like, "You're doing a cleanse?" I'm like, well, yeah, my body wanted this low sugar thing for a little while. And they're like, but I thought that was against what you're talking about. I'm like, absolutely not. My body wanted it. But the difference is you want to be in question with it constantly because it was a 4-week protocol, okay, which means I was supposed to do it for 4 weeks. It was this very firm structure. You do this, you don't eat this, had it laid out, right? And the first week I did it, I felt amazing. My body felt amazing. We were happy. It was easy, okay? And you want to pay attention to things like that. It was easy. It was fun. I was happy. My body felt good. Things like that usually means that you're working with your body, okay? Because one of the tools of access consciousness is living as the question, not living asking the questions. So a lot of people think they're doing this wrong because they're not constantly asking a verbal question, whereas being the energy of that communication and that question with your body. So when things are like it's light, it's easy, it's fun, it's happy, that means you're working with your body, right? So about halfway through the second week, it started sucking. I mean, really. It's one of those where you get up and you're like, oh, this day's just going to suck. It's not going to be any fun. And I'd really kill for a Coke or fruit, something besides, grapefruit or a strawberry or something, it's like, oh my gosh, what, I want an apple, and just my body was just like, it stopped being fun. It was hard work. And I'm like, but I have 2.5 weeks left. This reality judgment, this reality, it's 4-week protocol. If I will fail, I'm a failure if I don't do all 4 weeks. And then fortunately, because I have tools now, I went, okay, wait a minute. Body, are you done with this? And I went, yes. And I'm like, okay, well, are you done with this because you got what you needed in the week and a half? It was like, yes. I'm like, oh, great. And so this reality said the protocol was 4 weeks, but my body got what it required from the cleanse in a week and a half. And so, and that's the thing. It's like being in constant question. And so like Pam, how you were saying, like you asked your body, oh, it'd be fun to do this. It'd be fun to do this. It's like, cool. Ask or be willing to be that energy every day of the question with your body. Mm-hmm. Because if you're dragging your butt to it one day, you might want to do something different. And here's the thing. It just means for that day.
So it doesn't mean you canned the whole thing. You kept asking questions, and if your body said, let's pick it up again, you would have.
Yep. Exactly. Yeah. And bodies like variety too. And so it's like, oh, I want to, I'm going to go to this spin class every day this week. And then the next week you just can't stand the thought of it. Well, maybe your body's just bored. It wants to do something else or work a different muscle group or whatever it is, or take a nap. Who knows, and so, and also it's like, well, what have you defined as, you said moving your body, and I just did a great video. I haven't sent it out yet. I recorded it a couple days ago because the thing my body desired for Christmas was this, suspension yoga swing thing.
Uh-huh.
I love it. My body loves acrobatics, yoga, that kind of stuff, and swings and flying through the air. I did gymnasts when I was younger, so it's like gymnastics, and so it was fun. And so it's like that's what my body was desiring. So I had this whole video about moving, and like, it doesn't have to be exercise. If it's not fun, don't do it. Well, how would your body like to move?
Right. Right.
Because when you say exercise, the body goes, exercise? You're trying to get rid of us? Is this like split peas soup? Is a priest coming in? You're trying to separate us. What's going on? And so when you ask your body how it wants to move, it's a whole different place. Hello, Marilyn.
You're back.
I got back. Yay.
She was kicked off. You didn't know, but she was gone.
I was gone.
So keep going, Donnielle.
When you ask your body how it likes to move, it's a whole other animal. And, and just because I know this is a resolution or a target that comes up for a lot of people at the beginning of the year, I know this is the holidays. Just a little tidbit is you want to acknowledge where you're already moving your body, because you actually move your body every day. Marilyn unzipping her suitcase is moving her body.
Lugging her suitcases.
Lugging her suitcases. And so it's like you have to acknowledge you actually move your body quite a bit. And then if you start from that place and just, even in those simple movements as you're going throughout your day, simple movements, but movements, and start to perceive how your body moves with them. Mm-hmm. Like I talk with my hands a lot. No one's in the room except my cat, and I'm talking with my hands like I have a whole audience, right? And I can feel the way my muscles are moving, the way the muscles are with the bone and the shoulder, and I could feel it in my back. And it's like, it's kind of fun to even perceive the joy in my body at just the simple movements. Mm-hmm. And then, so like when you ask your body, how would you like to move? And it, it's like, I want to go walking, or I want to go jogging, or I want to go to that spin class. You do it more from the fun of moving your body instead of the you're supposed to.
Cool.
So start with, where you are. And hey, that's our survival for the holidays.
Well, and we only have a couple of minutes before the break, but I just want to bring this up because, when you were talking about your choice to do this cleanse and, and how it was easy and you and your body felt good. And then there was a day where it started being work. Mm-hmm. And it's like, what I wanted to jump on is, basically I want to say, so you're saying like, it's possible to create change with your body without it being hard work.
Yes.
And I would love to hear you say more about that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And, and what's interesting is another target I have with Right Body for You is getting rid of the point of view that it's only long lasting or it's only worthwhile if it's hard. No pain, no gain.
No pain, no gain.
You got to suffer to get the body you want.
Exactly. If it was easy, then it's fake. It won't last. It came too easy. It's like, well, no. What if working, and that's working, when you have fun with it, you're working with your body. One of the greatest gifts I got was after I started doing all these classes, I went to see Cirque du Soleil, and it was amazing to see people on stage performing the same movements in sync, right? And you could totally tell the people working with their bodies and then the people who were forcing their bodies to do it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of something fun to do, like to even start communication better with your body is to go out and watch people. And you can tell the people who are working with or even walking with their body or forcing their body. Because the people who are working with their body, there's a fun there, there's a joy there, even if it's quote unquote hard work or they're sweating or whatever. There's a fun, there's a joy, there's a fluidity. Mm-hmm. And that's the fluidness of the energy. Whereas that force it's like it almost is painful to watch them.
Yeah.
And that's, and you guys have noticed that with dancers. It's like some people are just amazing to watch.
Time for a break. Sorry. Gotta go. We'll be back in just a few minutes. Hold that thought, Donnielle.
The best of the holistic, spiritual, and conscious world. OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
Looking for inspiration?
Want to be inspired?
Not sure where to go?
Find Mark and Kim every Wednesdays at 3 p.m. Eastern on Inspired Living.
Topics will elevate consciousness and range from metaphysics to the human and social experience and all things spiritual.
Welcome to an inspired community that offers support, encouragement, and new ways of thinking. You are the inspired and the inspiration.
Being a radio host on IOM FM allows you to build your show on a rich platform with the power of the internet to fulfill your outreach goals and connect with a very specialized and global online audience, unlimited by time and distance. OMTimes Radio will provide you with web relevance, a recognizable conscious brand, and with the standard of excellence that has accompanied every single OMTimes endeavor. Host your show with OMTimes Radio Network. What if business could be fun? What if business is the adventure of living? What are you choosing? Where do you do business that makes it easier, more fun, or more joyful for you? We'd love to see where you do business. Connect with us on Instagram at Joy of Business or Twitter at Joy of Business. And share your pictures with hashtags BusinessDoneWhere and Joy of Business. Let's change the world with business.
Have you been searching for a perspective beyond the mainstream? Check it out. Join your hosts Cielito Pascual and Diana Gold Holland on Share International Radio for thought-provoking views behind the news, Sundays at 1 p.m. Pacific, 4 p.m. Eastern on OMTimes Radio. You can also find us at shareontheairradio.org. This may be the message of hope you've been waiting for.
Free your mind with OMTimes Radio. IOM FM.
And welcome back, everybody, to the Irreverent Therapists, where we have our special guest, Donnielle Carter, who I interrupted shamelessly right before the break. In mid-sentence.
It was, I have to tell you guys, I have to share with you guys, it's so flippant. I mean, I know you two know this, but I don't know if your listeners know it. I used to be shy, like painfully shy.
Does not compute.
I know. That's usually the reaction I get from people is they're like, well, that's a bunch of bull crap. I'm like, no, trust me. Like in the movies, the flop sweats shy. Totally.
I don't know what that means.
What does that mean? Flop sweat shy?
Like if, in the movies when somebody stands up and they're so nervous to make a public speech that they're sweating profusely. And they're constantly wiping and they have those big armpit stains on their shirt and whatever, and it's just it's a comedic element. And I'm like, and it's true.
I cannot reconcile this with the you that I know.
I know the one you're like, hold on. No, really. Shh. No, I used to be painfully shy. Then I got over it. Well, because I stopped hiding. I stopped hiding my body, and I stopped. I started having fun. We were talking about like what change can be fun. Yeah, and once I started having fun in my life, change started happening, and then I enjoyed the changes, and I had no judgment of the changes. And that's the thing, you guys. I had no judgment.
There you go.
Yeah, I had no judgment if I did change or I didn't change. Because my body's changed a lot since I started Access.
Mm-hmm.
A lot. I've lost weight. I gained weight. I lost weight. I changed. It's like it's just there's no rightness, wrongness to it. It's just whatever my body and I are creating at that time, and I am me, and I have no judgment of that. It's really fun, and I have a lot of time, and so Pam, you were asking about that, like, change can be fun or change can be easy. And it's like, yeah, especially if you have no point of view or judgment about where it's going. Gary Douglas, the founder of Access Consciousness, he says that judgment is the ultimate poison to the body. And it is. It's also the ultimate poison to change, really. Because, like, we were talking about the cleanse. It's supposed to be 4 weeks. And did I get less of a change because I did a week and a half? No. I got what change my body was asking for, whatever that was. Here's the other thing, you guys, with this whole judgment and asking your body, is the goal or target of the cleanse might not actually have been what my body was asking for.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah.
But whatever, awesome. Yeah, but whatever that first week and a half facilitated for my body, the cleanse was the way to get it there. And my body knew that.
Cool.
Yeah, so it's like, you might be aware of something, you might be asking questions, what everyone else thinks something is for, what you and your body create with it might be very different.
Well, exactly. And even with something as simple as body, what would you like to eat? Because I have people doubt themselves on that all the time. It's like, body, what would you like to eat? And it's like, your body tells you, oh, that Italian restaurant? Let's go there. And then, on the way to the Italian restaurant, you pass a Mexican food restaurant and your body goes, actually, let's go there. And they're like, a lot of people go, see, I couldn't communicate with my body. It was telling me Italian. I thought it was telling me Italian, but it wasn't. It was telling me Mexican. See, I suck. I just can't do this properly. And it's like, well, your body's pretty crafty. Maybe it was telling you the Italian restaurant to get you to go that direction.
Right.
So that it could actually indicate
to put you in the
Mexican
vicinity to see the Mexican restaurant.
Exactly. It's like, and that's having no judgment of you or your body. And that's that, okay, this. Because if you're truly if you, with that gratitude and no judgment of it, you're able to hear those shifts and changes. And hey, you know what? Sometimes we all get distracted by bright, shiny things. Sometimes you do just pass the Mexican food restaurant and the body goes, oh, never mind that.
Right, exactly.
You know, there's no rightness or wrongness to it.
Well, and that's another thing, is that we're so taught to come to conclusion. I mean, in Access, Gary and Dave, one of the tools I was using a lot as my flight was delayed, canceled yesterday, was 10-second increments. Okay, now what? Okay, now what could I choose? Mm-hmm. And okay, now what? Oh, okay, I think I'd like a hotel that's going to have a shuttle that'll pick me up. All right. Okay, what can I look at? So, but the body's the same way, I've really noticed.
Yeah.
It's like you sit down and it's like, well, I want this. Well, actually, maybe not. Maybe I want this. And it doesn't mean we're not listening. It just means the body's as crazy as we are.
Pretty much. I find it very interesting that the bodies tend to have the same personality as the person with it.
Huh. Oh,
say
that's
more.
Interesting. Yeah, please.
Well, my body tends to be sarcastic and and has a sense of humor and is amused by the world. And oddly enough, I think it judges the same things I do, when actuality, my body doesn't judge at all. It's just the projections I put onto it. But yeah, your body has no point of view. And so it's like, it will communicate with you how you can hear it. Whether it is that pain, we talked about that just a little bit. Some people won't hear their body until it gets to that pain. And my body communicates to me with a lot of humor, because that's how I can hear it. Because I tend to, use laughter in a few of my things.
Well, I want to ask about that. We just have a few minutes left, but
oh wow!
And I know I'm making noise because I've been sitting for hours, so now I'm just pacing around. But anyway, one of the things that I was taught: if you have pain, the target is to take medication and pills to get rid of the pain, rather than what you talk about, Donnielle, which is to go, oh gosh, body, what awareness are you giving me now?
Yeah,
or some variation of that.
Yeah, exactly. So many people have the point of view that pain is a wrongness.
Yeah.
When even at the base level, even doctors can't, doctors who are all about the surgery or the pill, or the pills can't deny that pain is a communication from the body, indicating that there is something going on there. Even at that base level of there's pain, I know a woman who started ice skating and she pinched a nerve in her back. So a nerve in her back started hurting because the way she was ice skating or whatever. So instead of talking to her body and going, okay, well, how do we need to move different? Or is there a move I shouldn't do? Or how could we change this? She went in and surgically had the nerve severed. So the pain was happening instead of it, she completely ignored the awareness of your body going, pain here, something's going on. And so even at that base level, be grateful for the pain, no judgment for it. Because in that, your body is communicating with you. So even acknowledging you have more communication with your body than you give yourself credit for. Because it's like, do you know when you have pain? Yeah. Do you know when you have to pee? Yes.
Yes.
Then you're communicating more with your body than you give yourself credit for. And so it's like, one of the targets is to get it to that place where your body doesn't have to give you pain, because that is the ramped up attention. Pay attention. And pain is that last attempt. So it's like, if you're asking your body and acknowledging that communication with your body, you can actually receive the awareness earlier on so it doesn't reach that point of pain. So let me be clear. People saying, wait a minute, if I talk to my body, does that mean I might not have pain? Yeah. And don't get me wrong, sometimes my body likes to throw in headaches and stuff for whatever reason, but yeah, communicating with your body is actually a way to decrease pain in your body. You know, I've worked with a lot of people all over the world, and their pain decreases or goes away when they start to communicate with their body.
Hey, Donnielle, I just want to jump in here before we end and say, so if people are like, oh my gosh, this is amazing, how can I find out more about you and what you're doing? I know there's the book, Right Body for You.
Yes, thank you for remembering. I never do.
And can you tell us, how else do people find out more about you?
Yeah, you know, you can go to my website, Donnielle.com, DONNIELLE.com. I have a bunch of free videos. You can follow the link to the Access TV, accessconsciousness.tv. I have some free classes on that. And yeah, there's a lot of information out there of what else is possible. And just, you know, always go to the accessconsciousness.com site. There's a lot of great information. Yeah. So Donnielle, the DONNIELLE.com.
Cool. Well, and I just want to say thank you so much for being on today. This has been fantastic. And I think giving people a very different way of, and I know giving me a very different way of engaging with my body over the rest of the holidays.
Absolutely. Really awesome, Donnielle. This is stuff that ought to get out there.
I'm so grateful for you guys to have me on. Like I said, you guys are so fun to play with. I'm so honored to be on. You guys are adorable and brilliant.
And Marilyn and I will be back next week. We have no idea yet what our topic is, so it's a mystery. Come join us next week on the show again. And check out Donnielle and her website, Donnielle.com. And thank you all, and have a happy New Year.
And take care of your body.